Hey trophies. So today I want to talk about having an abundance mindset when it comes to men.
I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare.
The new trophy wife is trending, and the reason why she's trending, well, in this video you're going to hear all about it. Hey y'all, welcome back to Bunny Talks. My name is Princess Bunny Go. So today guys, we're talking about the new trophy wife. She's a YouTuber and also a TikToker who basically talks about her life as a trophy wife. She was a single mom who remarried. She met her husband, not so long. They got married not so long. Things were working out well, so she came to tell us about stuff, how to be the proper trophy wife, how to do this and do that to attract the right man, how your body, you need to work on your body to be in the right shape. I mean, why should a woman's life just be situated or surrounded, or everything you want to do is just to please a man? You're not doing these things to please yourself. You're not doing these things to look good for your own self. Instead, you want to do stuff that's going to please a man, how to look good for a man and whatnot. Women are decentralizing men, even husbands. They are focusing on themselves. Women need to focus on themselves because that is what happens to you. When in Nigeria, we will say you carry man matter for head. Literally, you're putting the man and everything about him on your head, and you're focusing everything about the man, doing everything to please the man. Well, in the midst of her trying to please this man did the unthinkable. I'm not saying it's something that's never happened, but a lot of us will be shocked at what happened to this lady. I'm going to leave you guys to listen to her and listen to what other people thought about all of this, and I'll be back with my thoughts.
I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. I really thought that that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive, and immediately my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Um, so I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was daddy. I felt like my world ended on that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house. Because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, I he was actually picking up the boys from school, my two older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister, because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old.
But I definitely understand it being hard because I stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle of that. Definitely. But you know, there's that saying, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true. So it's just all about whenever you have the courage to do that. Sorry if my house is noisy in the background. I don't know how much you all can hear, but there's so many of us that it's just like that. So if you hear stuff in the background, just act like you don't.
I showed my baby sister video about dating. If you guys can hear my daughter, she's upstairs with my husband being cranky. So I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky, because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk.
I watched the Trophy Wives video, and as a mom myself, my heart absolutely breaks for her and her family. But I love that this has sparked a conversation about the detriments to the sprinkle sprinkle mentality.
If anybody marries somebody after 1 week, they dumb. I'm sorry. Sprinkle sprinkle. If you dumb enough to do that, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. But if you're sitting out there, you learned everything from me. Did you learn how to be smart? Did you learn how not to be desperate? You didn't learn from me? Did you hear when I said stop being desperate? Did you hear when I said don't be a pygmisha? Did you hear when I talked about background checks? Did you hear when I talked about all this other stuff? About not dealing with men if you have kids until they're old and grown enough to speak for themselves and be in school and whatnot. Did you not hear when I said all of that? Don't blame me. I tell people all the time, don't say my name if you are desperate and being pygmisha. Don't claim me. If you are desperate and you're not smart enough to get the bag, flip the money, have options. If you stupid, don't claim me. If your IQ is low, please don't claim me. I teach women to be smart, not desperate. If you're desperate, don't claim me.
Ain't no way I would have married a man after only knowing him a week while I am a single mom. Now, full transparency, if I had no children and it was just me, okay, it's just me. I'm only responsible for me. I'm the only one that would have to suffer the consequences if it turned out not to be a good option. But when you are charged with the safety of children, and I'm raising boys, but especially if you have girls, you have to be careful. You're not picking a husband just for you. You're picking a husband for you and your children. And it is just my belief, as I am watching this situation with the new trophy wife, as I'm watching this unfold, I'm kind of seeing desperation. I wanted the aesthetic of being a kept wife so bad that maybe I was willing to move too fast and ignore red flags. Because as she's sharing her story and as people are doing deep dives and finding out everything that is happening, this has happened to her children multiple times before she found out. Where is your connection with your babies? Where is your mom intuition to see that your children's energy is different? I don't know because I understand there are some monsters out there that are just great at hiding. But I pray for healing for her, her children. I pray that man is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I hope that she is able to make sure her children heal and she heals and they move on. But I think it is just a great idea for her to take a step back from that camera for a while. I would private my page so she didn't see any more comments, so she can really focus on healing and moving on. But if your focus is the aesthetic, it's the look, it's the brand, that might be why we're sharing so quick. I hope this is not coming off as judgmental because my heart breaks for her and her children. But as somebody who has been in relationships that unfolded on social media, baby, when those relationships fell apart, y'all didn't know nothing about it until months later. Because I wanted to make sure that everything was all said and done. That everybody's healed. Everybody had opportunity to move on. But some of us are only worried about the clicks, likes, and views. And it's really sad.
Y'all want to sit here and bash the new trophy wife all day, every day, but y'all want to know who y'all don't bash enough for me? It's the women who actually stay in situations like this. Yeah. It's the women who wouldn't have the level of accountability and self-awareness that the new trophy wife had to be able to get up and leave that situation and take ownership. Because aside from a lot of women who don't leave these situations, a lot of them also have no accountability for their part in the traumatic events that took place to their children due to their own decisions, right? There's a lot of women who don't have accountability. But see, y'all just like to kick people when they're down. That's what it is. That's what y'all like to do on this app and in real life. I respect a transparent and accountable woman who is self-aware of her actions and does better moving forward than I will ever respect a couldn't be me type of person. Because let me tell you one thing about life. Life is going to humble you, okay? Life will show you, oh, it actually could be you. You know, you never know. Them words should never come out your mouth. Couldn't be me, no. She's an accountable woman. She's moving forward accordingly. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. Zip it. And then the pick-me's who try to use this as opportunities to, promote their whole, oh yeah, this is why I don't want no man doing nothing for me. What about the broke men who do this too? Okay? What about the broke men who do the same thing her rich husband did? It's not about the tax bracket. It's about when people are sick in the head. It has nothing to do with are they providing or not? Are they a dusty or not? It has nothing to do with nothing. So stop trying to use it to feed into your delusional pick-me narrative. Stop it. It's not cute and you look crazy. Anyways, that's my rant. The sun is sunning today though.
Hey girl, you don't have it in you to be a trophy wife. You don't. First of all, you talk too much. You talk way too much. Your teacher actually put in your report card, talks too much in class. Like you've talked too much your whole life. So could you imagine something crazy being said and you just eating that and not having a retort? You don't have that. You don't have that in you. And then don't have those opinions in the house. Because if you talk back too much, he's not giving you your allowance this month, right? What they used to call it, sass mouthing? Yeah, you can't have too much sass. Because he'll just not give you your allowance this month. Yeah, but the nanny will come and take care of the kids, and the maid will come and take care of the kids, and that's all fine. But you have no money for anything else. that you might want to do. You shouldn't even have things you want to do. Why do you even have things that you like to do? That's stupid. All of the things he likes to do is what you like to do now. I hope you enjoy F1 racing. It's super fun when the cars go around and around and around like that. It's like so fun. Yeah, there's no time for a quiet weekend in where you just read a book or watch Netflix. Nah, that's done. There's a gala to go to, and you've actually got 3 other things that he needs to go to. So, go get your hair done. Oh, you got it done already? Ooh, it doesn't look done. He doesn't like it like that. Go get it done again. You don't want to be a blonde? Nah, you gotta be a blonde because he likes that. Yeah. I don't care that it's unhealthy for your hair. He likes that. Go be a blonde. Nah, he doesn't like wigs. You don't wear wigs anymore. That's done. You want a sandwich? No, baby girl. You haven't had bread. You haven't had bread in 4 years. You don't even remember what bread tastes like no more. Or most food because of the Ozempic. And it's keeping you snatched. Oh, you feeling anxious? Just pop a Xanax. It's fine. He don't really like it when you have all them emotions like that. Like, keep that in. Keep that in there. Okay? Because if, again, you have your emotions, he's not going to give you your allowance this month. Oh, you tired? It's stuff to fix that. Come on, look alive. He's up. You up. He's up. You up. Yeah, he's going to Switzerland for work. Oh, you're not coming with him? That's fine. He's going to meet with the other chick when he get there anyways. Oh, y'all been married for what, like 7, 8 years? Oh, cool. Yeah, so you have wrinkles now? You don't have those anymore. Nah, you need to go get those ironed off. You need to go get that stretched out. Yeah, you need to go do that. Cellulite? What the fuck is a cellulite? Get that gone. Yeah, it doesn't matter that you don't want plastic surgery and that it hurts. You like that now. You like that now. Oh, y'all hitting 10 years? Oh, okay. Do you have money for a divorce attorney? Oh, he didn't give you money for that. Oh, okay. It's part of your allowance. Okay. Yeah, he didn't put that as part of your allowance, so you don't have a divorce attorney anymore. He didn't put that as part of your allowance. Yeah, so you gonna get whatever money he give you, and then you just make it work like that. Do you get to keep the kids? Nah, you don't get to keep the kids. Actually, the kids hate you now. Is this everybody's story? No. Is this a lot of people's story? Yeah. So, come on. So why were you arguing with me when I said maintain your agency? Why were you arguing with me when I said this is a Tyler Perry movie? You want your life to be a Tyler Perry movie? Even if you don't work, it's fine. Find you somebody who's like, this, what she does in the home is just as important and just as valuable. And make sure you retain some autonomy, some agency. You got some money that comes to you monthly or whatever. Squirrel it away. Put it away somewhere. You never know when you need it. Have your own investments. Be looking into the family financing. Know what's going on in the home. Don't just hand it over to somebody. There's no Superman coming. You Superman. You are the Superwoman who has to take care of you. All right? Even though there's somebody there loving all of those things that's taking care of you. That's good. You still got to take care of you. And some of you be the first ones to be like, oh my God, men are so trifling. They're so trifling. Why would you want somebody who is trifling or has the capacity to be in charge of your life? You trust you less than a trifling... Come on. You know why? Because a gilded cage is still a cage. That's all I'm trying to say.
Part 2 of my opinion of the trophy wife. I feel as if she does need to be held accountable. I have reviewed that video a couple of times, and in my opinion, you took too long to leave. In my opinion, I question if you actually wanted to leave off of some of the things that you have stated. And if your child is still in a pull-up, a diaper, etc., how is this your first time seeing it if it has been done multiple times? Once again, if he essayed you, of course he would do it to your children. I'm not getting past that part. How did you think that this would not happen to your children? You're on TikTok making all these videos about how to get a valued man and a high man and get a man to spend money on you and to wife you. maybe he wifed you because you are very gullible and naive, and that is exactly what I am getting from your videos and everything else. Sometimes you have to just grow up, get a job, take care of your children, do what you are supposed to do.
I just hope that this new trophy wife situation teaches young girls to stop pedestalizing these kinds of relationships and these kinds of men. Yeah, you might find yourself in a situation that you literally cannot escape from because of a financial power dynamic. And I don't understand why that is not the central conversation when it comes to these femininity coaches, because that's what she was. She was a femininity coach. She was a divine, become your ultimate woman was her tagline. And this is what women go through. This is the thing that I don't understand. It's so ironic and it's so cathartic. This is really what women go through. This is becoming an ultimate woman. One of the pillars of the suffering that women face is sexual violence to our children. So what I'm confused about, right, is why people are still lending credence to this femininity coach kind of space. Stop pedestalizing these kinds of men and stop pedestalizing these kinds of relationships. It's just gonna hurt us. There's nothing we benefit from this.
Trigger warning, this video will be talking about essaying grape. If you're not in the capacity to hear about this, please keep scrolling. If not, we're going to be talking about the new trophy wife. If you're unaware, the new trophy wife is a woman by the name of Isis who preaches hypergamy on her YouTube channel. She just came out a couple of days ago with a video. Unfortunately, she found out that her husband that she married, the high value, high paying man, was actually touching her two daughters, 4 and 2. So she says that in a video, she's crying, she's very emotional. She says that she was changing her 4-year-old when she noticed she was very red and sensitive. She instantly thought, is somebody touching her? She asked her daughter, she said, yes, it's daddy. Her then husband was on his way home with her 2 boys from her previous relationship. And when he got home, she had to think of an excuse to get out the house. She was like, oh, me and my sister are going Halloween shopping. Then she went to the hospital. She was then escorted to another hospital where they were able to confirm that her daughters, the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old, were both being touched by him. So the controversy comes with this is because people are upset because she teaches sprinkle content. A lot of her beliefs came from sprinkle people. I don't blame sprinkle because unfortunately this woman was in a previous relationship with another man, broke up with him a week. No, she needs a place to go. She got with the other man. She called him, said, me and my children need a place to go. He said, oh no, only way you can stay here is if we get married. She was like, jackpot. Went ahead, got with him instantly, got married after a week, moved in, and I'm sure he sold her a dream. Had 2 children. I think she just had a 3rd, and he was touching her 2 little girls. So I say that I am proud of her for coming out and telling this instead of staying for the pay, because a lot of women would do that. It happens all the time, because if you don't got nowhere to go, what you gonna do? You gon' But she said she is a product, she's a product of rape, I believe. And she said she was also raped. Ooh, I said the word. Anyway, it also happened to her as a child. And so she's very sensitive to this. And she, never wanted this for her children, of course. So yeah, no, people on her butt because of what she preaches. And they feel like, she was desperate. And that's how she ended up in this situation, because she wanted a man for his assets instead of getting somebody who's a good person. That can happen. A man ain't got no job could do this to you. But it's all about being desperate in my eyes, whether he got money or he don't. Women be desperate for men that ain't got no job. Okay? They want to be with a man, period. So, that's pretty much the story. Let me know if I missed anything. What are y'all thoughts?
We need to talk about the new trophy wife. Not to be confused with your favorite trophy wife. They're two different creators, so please don't mix them up because I feel really bad for your favorite trophy wife and her husband, given the allegations that have come out. I just did a video talking about, why women want provider men. So I think it's important to address this because I'm seeing a lot of people commenting on this situation as if this is like an aha moment. This is why you don't want to marry for money. So for those who don't know, the new trophy wife has recently come out in a YouTube video saying that she's discovered a few weeks ago that her husband was abusing their two young daughters. Now, I don't know yet if these children are his biological children or her children from a previous relationship. I know she did have children from a previous relationship when she met this man, but it's still unclear if these are his biological children, because I haven't had a chance to watch the whole of this YouTube video, although I will. But I've heard a few different accounts. So either way, I don't know, jury is out on that one. But the point is, she's alleging that, he has basically interfered with these two girls who are 2 and 4 years old. This woman has made it her whole brand, being a trophy wife, hypergamy, provider men, and basically selling women on the idea of how they can do this too. Now, I support women who want to practice sprinkle sprinkle, who want to practice hypergamy, who seek out provider men. But I make content specifically warning women about the warning signs of potential abuse and how to avoid being a victim of abuse. I actually do not believe that women who engage in sprinkle sprinkle, who seek out provider men, who want to date wealthy men, are actually making themselves more vulnerable to abuse. When I was practicing as a lawyer, I started out working with a lot of legal aid cases. And let me tell you, the worst cases that I have ever had dealing with abuse, SA, harming children, all of that, all of them 100% were legal aid cases. All the family lawyers that I know will say the same thing, that the legal aid cases are always the ones that will haunt your nightmares forever. Like, they're always the ones where you hear about the absolute worst, most vicious things happening to women and children. Most lawyers that I know will do everything that they can to get away from having to do legal aid cases, and most family lawyers that I know much prefer dealing with rich people divorces, because those divorces 9 times out of 10 are really simple and straightforward, and you're fighting over who's going to get the holiday home and what's going to happen with the Porsche. So abuse and harm to children is not the type of thing that is in any way associated more strongly with women who are dating or marrying wealthier men. If anything, I would say I have experienced the opposite and seen that it happens a lot more in lower socioeconomic situations. These were women who clearly were not marrying for money, okay? Clearly they were marrying for love, and sadly the man that they loved hurt them, hurt their children. So it can happen across tax brackets. So I think the first thing that we all need to do is to stop blaming this woman, this new trophy wife, because somehow people think she brought it upon herself by being so stupid as to want to date a man who will provide for her financially, as if this is somehow the natural consequence of that. That being said, that doesn't mean that there aren't lessons that we could glean from this, and that as women, learn to keep yourself and your children safer. I will do another video on this, probably when I have watched the entirety of her YouTube video and done a little bit more research, so I can give you a more informed view on what some of the early red flags were. But from what I know so far, the biggest thing that I would say that I have seen is that she was in a very financially vulnerable situation. And basically she put herself in that situation by not being able to provide financially for herself and her children. And that made her basically easier prey, more attractive prey to a man who seeks to take advantage of women and take advantage of their children and do harm to them. So I think if we're going to learn anything from this, and if this is going to be a cautionary tale, it isn't that you should avoid wealthy men or that you shouldn't sprinkle sprinkle. It is that the first rule of sprinkle sprinkle is to always have your own money, and Shira herself has said this. You always have to be in a situation where you can support yourself, because you cannot rely on a man for your survival, okay? Hopefully you meet a nice man, you have a family with him, and he does all the right things. That is best case scenario. But worst case scenario, anything could happen, okay? The man could cheat on you, he could leave you, he could harm you, he could harm your children, or he could just get sick, he could die, he could get injured, he could lose his job. Like, a million things can happen, and if you're going to have children, you absolutely have to be the one to be able to provide for them. Even if that is like the backup situation, you always need to be prepared to do that. That doesn't mean dating and marrying broke dusties, as Shira would say, you know, and I don't know why people automatically go there when they hear about things like this, like, oh, well, this is why you shouldn't marry for money, and like somehow the solution is marrying a broke man instead, because like I said, this happens a lot more on that end of the spectrum. It's not one or the other. Like, the ideal situation is that you should be focusing your time, your energy, your attention on building yourself up, getting and securing your own bag, elevating your own life, and that will actually make it a lot easier for you to meet good wealthy men, because you'll be operating on the same wavelength as them, you'll be in the same circles as them. Like, that is the way that you sprinkle properly. But anyway, that's all for now. Stay tuned for further updates, and in the meantime, I'm going to pray for her and for those poor little children, because, you know, they're the victims in all of this.
If you are a kept wife, trophy wife, soft life wife, whatever, your life is on easy mode and you don't have to do much, you have to be very careful with who you share that information with, because jealousy in this economy is at an all-time high. So I went to a good friend of mine's birthday dinner, and there was a couple there that I did not know. The guy was being like way too talkative and overly friendly. Like, I feel like a man should be seen and not heard. Like, he was extra loud, the whole table could hear him, and he was going down the line asking all of the women, like, what's your name, where you from, are you single, which ended up starting some drama later on that night with another girl. But let me tell my part. So he gets to me and he's like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm a housewife. Short, simple, cute. Now, I could have said I have my dealership license, I own a car dealership, I own a real estate company. I could have said all of these things, but I'm not the type of person to take credit for my husband's work. I know that he's the one who put in the blood, sweat, and tears for our businesses, and I reap the benefit. Although my name is on these companies and he legally can't do anything without me, I still know that he's the one who's working and I'm the one just collecting money and going on spa dates and Pilates. So I'm usually 100% honest when I tell people, yeah, I'm a housewife. I don't pay bills and I just chill. The guy then gets this look on his face. Y'all know how when people are trying to hate on you, but they don't want to show it, so they do that, must be nice. Well, he started doing that. So then he goes, I don't know what that life is about. Babe, you know what that life is about? Like, I don't know what that life is about. And then she's like, it probably is good until it's not. And then my homegirl, like, she jumped in because my friends don't play about me. She's like, anyways, I've been knowing Danny for a very long time. She's a hustler. She's owned businesses. She's worked jobs, but she's enjoying her life that her husband gave her, as she should. And then the girl goes, well, I mean, I get that, but you don't have any passions or anything? And then I go, yeah, I do. And I can focus on my passions because I'm not clocking in to work for somebody else's passion. I'm taking horseback riding lessons Wednesday. I'm learning 7 languages. I'm building myself up and bettering myself while my husband works to pay the bills. And the crazy thing about it is, she told us that she wants to be a singer for a living and she wants to be a TikTok content creator. So honey, your passion isn't to work either. And you could be going after those passions if you had a man to let you chill like how my husband does. If he was paying all those bills, you could be focused on you, getting your content up and becoming a singer, but you can't do that. But yeah, that is pretty much the vibe in this economy where people, you know, they don't really got it like that. Like, I've never been the type of person to be like, okay, pipe it down a little bit. I'm like, if you're mad, you're mad. But in this economy, this is not pre-COVID economy when everybody had money, everybody was taking trips, everybody was buying bags. If I told people I was a housewife back then, they didn't care. Like, this is different. So yeah, jealousy is at an all-time high. You have to be a little bit more humble.
Not me waking up this morning and seeing the new trophy wife in that tea. Hold on, like, let me just say and reiterate this for the people in the back, because it's a lot. Is this new generation? We careless, and we don't really know. At the end of the day, if you marrying a money man, if you're marrying someone, if you are bringing a man into your children's life, please, please, please always be, and maybe it's because I'm a Scorpio, but always be on guard and always keep something in your mind that it can possibly or might happen, because people are surprising, okay? People, you don't put things past people, okay? Especially young women with children, okay? The kind of armor you need to have up for yourself and your children needs to be times 10. I don't know why I have to come on here and say that, but I really need this to reach people. Protect our babies, okay? A man isn't going to tell you, I'm attracted to little kids, okay? A lot of men are out here attracted to little kids and they don't speak on it, but they will act on it, okay? Let's start there. Don't trust nobody around your children.
With all these videos about the trophy wife going on, if you are triggered by any of those type of videos, if it does something to your mental health, do not watch or listen. Watching or listening to things, bring it into your home, bringing it into your mind, bring it into your heart. It does more damage. My mental could never, I cannot physically watch anything to do or listen, or even listening to things where it is something has happened to a child, because my mental cannot take it. I physically can get sick. My body takes over. I have an uncontrollable amount of emotions that take over. I cannot physically listen to someone saying something that someone did to a child. I cannot do it. And not only because I'm a mother, but because I have to protect myself. And those type of demons out there, that type of stuff, bringing that into your home and thinking about those things, that's why they have things called trigger warning. Hearing things like that could give someone a heart attack. Do not watch or listen to anything that could disturb your peace. I could not even watch. Like, I literally saw it, and then as soon as they said 2 or 3, that was it for me, and I was done. And you sit there and you listen to them, and then you get off your phone, and now it's in your mind, it's in your brain, it's programmed into you, and you're a mother. Turn it off. Turn it off. If I see these videos, I instantly swipe up. I swipe up so quick. Sometimes I'll just turn my phone off and turn it back on. Pray for people. Protect your peace. Because those type of demons is real. You don't want that nowhere near you. I do not know the story of this woman, and frankly, I do not care. I heard she's a trophy wife, and she teaches people how to be a trophy wife and how to be with a man with money. Y'all gotta stop idolizing people for money. I promise you, if you met them in real life, you would realize most of them are demons and sickos. Weirdo. Be with someone because of who they are, not what they have. Everything is not made for the internet.
Y'all, I was never one to be easily influenced. But for those of you that are, let me just say this. For my young girlies and older girlies, I don't care how old you are. Everything that you see online on social media, especially on this app, take it with a grain of salt. There is this propaganda going on with all these different influencers sitting in their car, flaunting their ring in your face, telling you how to get a man, how to get yourself a man, how to get married, how to secure a husband, how to secure a provider, how to be a stay-at-home girlfriend, how to be a stay-at-home wife. But what they're not telling you is what they're dealing with in the background, okay? I fear that we do not care about our safety these days. I fear that we lack common sense. Because look at what's happening. Look at what's happening to the trophy wife. This woman met this man, allegedly married him after a week. Allegedly. I fear that we really don't care about our safety. Because a week, sis? Now, secure yourself a husband. I get that. But a week, I fear that we lack common sense. Because you can't possibly know, I don't know, any real thing about someone after 1 week. But what do I know? This same man that she was bragging about, that is a provider, SA'd her 2 children. One was 2, one is 4. Now, this is a terrible, terrible situation to be in. And I feel for her. But let's be for real, guys. Let's be for real. Did you really know that person? And a lot of them have these stories, I'm sure. I fear, sorry, what Cameron be saying on this app. I'm sure a lot of other people, other ladies that has been telling you about these men that is providers, maybe they're getting beat on at home. But they're not going to show you that part because it's not glamorous. It's not content worthy, right? So, guys, there is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. There is nothing wrong with working 3 12-hour shifts. There is nothing wrong with being single. There is nothing wrong if you already had a child to work hard and take care of your child and provide for you and your child. As a woman, I've already sat down and asked myself, would I want to be a stay-at-home wife as an unmarried woman? And my answer is no. And that's between me and myself and God. Because I don't want to say I'm too independent for that. However, I do know that when you completely depend on someone, there is a kind of power that you give that person that I'm not willing to give anyone over me. That's between me. Like, besides God, I'm not willing to give anyone that power to make sure that it's up to them if I eat, if I don't eat. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm good, right? I'm good. But to each his own. If your dream is to not work, be a stay-at-home wife, be a stay-at-home girlfriend, that's great. But make sure you guys are getting to know who you are sleeping next to. Please. Because it is not all it's cut out to be, y'all. When these influencers sitting up in their car, flaunting their wedding ring in your face, making you think that if you're not married, something wrong. If you don't have a man that is a provider, if you're... Guys, men are not stupid. You cannot manipulate a man to get into his wallet. You cannot. Anything and everything about a man is transactional. What is he getting in return? Think about that. I fear that we lack common sense. That's all I'm saying. I fear that we need to be more protective over ourselves and over our children. I fear. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good night.
The trophy wife story is a constant reminder that the people closest to children will use that closeness to manipulate and take advantage of those children in ways that you probably could never have imagined. The true reality of all of this is there are some real sick people in this world. As far as I'm concerned, I would never, even prior to having a child, even consider taking advantage of a child because their innocence is something that's so precious. And I also understand that what happens to them right now impacts them in ways they'll never imagine. But for those sick individuals like that husband that decided to get super close to those little girls and then take advantage of them in the worst way, potentially scarring them for life, potentially negatively impacting the way that they show up in romantic relationships with men, women, anybody else, potentially even impacting how they have relationships with men in general that aren't even romantic, and potentially harming their possibilities of being someone that they can trust, the people that get close to them. The saddest part about this is that that lady knew that she had to come up with some entire plan to get those kids out of there because she trusted her first mind that it wasn't just one of them probably. The second thing is I am so glad that she actually believed the little girl. Never saying that she wasn't going to, but we all know that there are those stories. This exact thing happens. This man swarms in and he's like the save the day type of husband, gives them everything they could imagine, gives them a life that the mother never saw them having, and then he swarms in and takes advantage of the children. The children come clean, and the mama is like, whatever, I don't care nothing about that. You got to be making that up, because they're so caught up in the fairy tale that they're living. I'm so grateful that she didn't get caught up in that, and that she did everything in her power to protect her children. I hope that this encourages and inspires each of you to do the same thing, because the truth of the matter is, it don't even have to be the man that comes to save you or the woman that comes to save you. It could be the man that you could have been in love with forever. Now, I'm not saying just walk around thinking that these people taking advantage of your children, but you have to be vigilant in how you choose to show up in your child's life and your awareness of what's normal, what's not normal. And I'm grateful for the fact that in a simple change, she realized, a simple diaper change or whatever she was changing, something off. Let me go get this fixed. Just please don't fall into the trap of thinking because this man pay your bills and afford you a lifestyle that you can negate the safety and happiness and peace of your children.
So there's this girl named Isis on social media, and she would always preach to women on them getting a high value man, aka rich, because she never really talked about the character of the man. It was always about, get you a man that could do this for you, get you a man like this, and this is how you meet a rich man, this is how you become a trophy wife, blah blah blah. She wasn't really preaching anything of substance or spreading anything of substance to women. She was just basically telling women how to find someone to basically take care of them while they do much of nothing. But anyways, this woman Isis talks about how, you know, she had a child at 17, and, you know, she had a couple kids and single mom, and she wanted a family. But when I listened to her story, it sounded like she didn't really care to have a family. It just said she cared to have a sponsor, a guy that was rich to help her with her kids. That's what it sounded like to me. But anyways, she ends up meeting this guy. She meets this guy on an online dating site. She marries him in less than a year, some rich man. There was a 20-year age gap, red flag to me. And then long story short, I hate to say it, God bless her and her children, but the guy she married, who she really didn't know, who she chose based off of his finances, from what it sounded like, ended up doing some very, very evil things to her and her children. And I can't say those things, but just know it dealt with force, and it dealt with pedophilia. And it made me sad, but at the same time, it made me realize women like her who go for men strictly based off of finances, unfortunately, these type of things happen because you're not really paying attention to his character. You're just paying attention to the life he can provide for you, and you're not bringing God into it. It's more about worldly things, and unfortunately, this is what happens sometimes. I'm not saying this deserved to happen to her, but I'm just saying when you focus so much on worldly things, unfortunately, you don't see red flags because you're so fixated on the glitter and the glam of things. And I think this is what happened to this young lady. And I pray that she gets the help that she needs, and she realizes that, you know, you need more from a man than just his finances. You need to make sure he's a good guy. Take your time. Don't just rush into something because someone has money. And then, like I said, she's online telling women, oh, this is how you be a trophy wife. This is how you attract. It's a horrible message. You need to teach women how to pay attention to a man's character. How to not sell yourself because a man has money. Like, no, ladies, pay attention to a man's character. Please, get your own money. Have your own thing going. And then when you meet a man, y'all could combine. And that's why I tell women, y'all just be relying on men's finances and walking around doing much of nothing. No, have your stuff going on. Meet you a guy that has his stuff going on. Y'all come together as one. You know, he can take some of that financial load off of you and y'all build together. All this, I just want to do nothing and he has to build everything and I'm just going to sit back and be pretty. Men take advantage of women like that. When you don't want to do much and he's the one providing everything, he feels like he controls you. He feels like you do what he says. And I think that's what happened here. He want whatever he want, it has to be that way. And you better do it. If you don't do it, bad things happen. Because men like that who are older and want younger women, and they, you know, they get them with, oh, I can do this and do that. Those men end up controlling those women and doing bad things. I rarely see it play out different. Most men who target younger women are manipulative, and a lot of times they're controlling, and they know it's easier to control a younger woman. And that's exactly what happened here. He was a sicko. He's an evil man, and I really hope he's in jail right now. And I just believe this is a lesson to her. Do not just bring your kids around random people. Marrying a guy in less than a year and having kids around him and all that, it's just not enough time. You don't know much about this guy. It's just, to me, I don't care what anybody says, it's not enough time. Give yourself some time. Pray about it. Use discernment. I don't think she was using discernment. I think she was just thinking, oh my God, he has money. My kids can be taken care of. I get it. But you have to have discernment. You have to put God first. That's just bottom line, man. God bless her. But this is just a lesson to women, man. Be careful. Stop choosing men strictly off of external things, material things.
Wow. Like, wow. You actually put your hands, you actually aid your own children. You have money. You can get every woman you want. As a matter of fact, the woman who is their mother is very pretty. But no, that wasn't enough. You just had to touch your children. You just had to SA your children. Why? I mean, good thing that she was bold enough to come outside and talk about this. A lot of women might have just covered it up. But I am sure also that she came out because she wanted to be the one to tell a story. Because what if just this leaks and then someone else comes on social media to tell it? It's going to be a big shame to her and everything she stands for. She is the new trophy wife. But right now, the trophy wife is about to be a single mother for the second time. Quite sad. I'm not going to blame her. And I was saying something in my other channel. I was saying that women should not be quick to tell a man what they are looking out for in them, because some men are quick to say, oh, what are you looking out for in a man? What do you want in a man? Oh, what do you want to see in a man? What kind of man do you want? And then the woman goes about blabbing, oh, I want a man who's God fearing. I want a man who's going to cater to my needs. I want a man who's going to run to me when I cry, when I call. This man is going to conform into that man you want, and then you're going to start seeing everything you want in him. You're going to be like, oh, this man is just the man of my dreams, because obviously he has asked you what you want and you've told him. You didn't allow yourself actually see him for his genuinity. Rather, he conformed himself into what you want. This is just me thinking, but what you guys think about this theory, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.